Welcome to the Daily AI News Digest. It's April 17th, 2026, and today we're tracking the AI developments that are quite literally reshaping our world. So here's what's on the docket today. A massive shift in cybersecurity, a truly record-breaking wave of investment into AI, the new hardware that's powering quantum and robotics, and of course, AI's growing role in geopolitics. And finally, we'll try to make sense of what it all means. All right, let's jump right into the top headlines. Today feels like one of those pivotal moments where a lot of different threads in the AI story are all starting to come together at once. Just look at this lineup. We've got a new model that can basically act as an autonomous offensive weapon. We've seen a historic, almost unbelievable concentration of capital flowing into just a few key labs. And then we have major moves in both the foundational hardware and the geopolitical strategy that are going to define this new era. Let's start with our top story, because it's a big one. It's a development from the AI lab Anthropic that completely redefines the global security landscape. It's forcing every single leader out there to rethink what digital risk even means. And that's not just my take. That stark warning you see there comes from Heather Adkins, who's Google's VP of Security Engineering. Honestly, the release of Anthropic's new model has triggered similar warnings all across the tech world. It really highlights that we've just entered a new and frankly dangerous era of AI-driven threats. The model is called Claude Mythos, and while it's a general-purpose AI, its ability to act as an autonomous hacker is so incredibly potent that Anthropic has put it on a tight leash. It's only being made available to a special coalition of defenders they're calling Project Glasswing. Their job? To patch the world's most critical software before these capabilities get into the wrong hands. Now, what you really need to see here is the sheer scale of this performance jump. Just look at the benchmark for multimodal SWE bench. Mythos more than doubles the performance of the previous model. This isn't just another incremental update, This is a fundamental breakthrough, a step change in AI's ability to find and then exploit software flaws. So what's the bottom line here? It's that the timeline for security has completely collapsed. That window of time between someone discovering a vulnerability and an adversary exploiting it, it used to be weeks, maybe months. Now, it's effectively shrunk to zero. And that forces a complete, and I mean immediate, overhaul of our global defense strategies. So you might be asking, how is a model this powerful even being developed? Well, the answer lies in an unprecedented, highly concentrated wave of capital that's just flooding the AI industry right now. In just the first quarter of this year, global venture funding hit a record $300 billion. But get this, a staggering $242 billion of that's 80% of all funding, went directly to AI companies. That is a truly historic concentration of capital. And this money is not being spread around evenly, not at all. As this chart shows, companies like OpenAI, Anthropic, and xAI are raising just astronomical sums. 4 of the 5 largest venture rounds in history all closed in just the last 3 months. The market is very clearly betting on a winner-take-all outcome in this race for AGI. But at the same time, we're seeing a really interesting strategic pivot. Meta's new Muse Spark model isn't just about scale, it's about efficiency. By slashing compute costs by 90%, Meta is aiming for what Mark Zuckerberg is calling personal superintelligence for billions of users. The goal is to weave AI deep into our social lives, but without the insane operating costs. And it's important to remember, this capital isn't just funding abstract code floating around in the cloud. It's funding the creation of entirely new kinds of machines, ones that operate in both the quantum and the physical worlds. So, let's talk quantum. NVIDIA has released something called Ising, which is basically an open-source AI family that acts as a control plane for quantum computers. It's tackling the 2 biggest problems that have held the field back: noise and instability. By using AI, it can cut calibration time from days down to hours, and it uses these specialized 3D models to find and fix errors, which just dramatically speeds up the pace of research. And then we have the physical world. Here, Qualcomm is literally building the brains for the next generation of humanoid robots. Its new Dragonwing IQ-10 processor is designed specifically for these advanced humanoids, a market that, according to a brand new Capgemini report, major industries now see as a top strategic priority. As AI's power just continues to grow, so does its geopolitical importance, and this is leading to the rise of very explicit national AI strategies, all designed to secure economic and digital sovereignty. A perfect example of this new geopolitical reality is Microsoft's $10 billion investment in Japan. It's creating what they call a sovereign cloud. It's a model that lets Japan leverage the most advanced AI out there while making sure its most sensitive data stays securely within its own borders, which is now a huge national security priority.
Okay, so after all that, what is the crucial point? What's the big takeaway from today's developments?
Well, for a long time, the news around the AI revolution has felt a little fragmented. But today, all those pieces have snapped together into a single, very clear picture. This technology is no longer just some ancillary tool. It is now a foundational layer of power of the economy and of national security itself. And all of this leaves us with the single most critical question for our future. With AI now this powerful, who is ultimately in control? As these systems become more autonomous and more integrated into every part of our lives, the answer to that question is going to define the next era. That's the Daily AI News Digest. Thank you for watching, and thanks to our sponsor, bestai.org.